Hey, welcome back to another episode of Maintenance with Mike. So as you can see, we're got a little bit of fresh snow today. Not a whole bunch, just a little dusting of snow. We've got a really interesting video for you today. I had a Kreg wood workbench, a folding workbench that I had purchased from a local supplier here. And it's a great woodworking bench, and it folds, so its space is really good. It takes up very little space at all. But I found I didn't want to have a welding workbench and a woodworking bench, so we're going to fabricate that into a two-in-one today. We're going to make that a folding woodworking bench and welding table. So let's get started. Hey, so we're in the garage now. I'm going to show you how to make this two-in-one foldable workbench for welding on and using for woodwork. Got a nice fire going today. It's a bit chilly outside. I had dusting of snow this morning, so yeah. So this is the Kreg folding workbench. I'll put the model number and stuff in the description. It's pretty much new. It holds 350 pounds with both of these up. Which is plenty for what we're doing. I'm just going to use it as like a bit of a welding table and a woodwork table. So to set it up, you basically just raise these and push the bottom down to lock it. These just raise and snap, and that's it. They're locked in place. There's a nice little tray here to put stuff in. What I like about this is I'll be able to use it for woodwork and welding. You can slide these clamps up and down for clamping stuff. They go on both sides, and there's also this one that slides in the middle for clamping materials as well to the table. So what we're going to do is we're going to basically utilize this to be able to use it for the woodworking and the welding. We're going to put a 1/4-inch steel plate on this side and a 1/4-inch steel plate on this side. These dowel holes, I've got some steel rod, some mild steel rod. We're going to weld to the bottom of the 1/4-inch plates. So each 1/4-inch plate basically just drops in this section here. It'll come right up to this channel so that we can still utilize this channel. So that's sort of a brief description of what we're doing. I'm going to zoom you in now a little bit and get started. So this is the channel I was telling you about that we want to keep, because it's nice for having product to clamp in along here. This just slides up and down the rail. So let me grab a sheet of steel right now that we got cut at a local supplier, and we'll try it on here and see how things are going to fit. So that's basically how the steel plate's going to sit on here, so that'll allow this to still work. Let's double check that. Might have to get a bit of a taller bolt for here so that it sits up. But that'll still slide back and forth in the rail. I can use that for clamping. This is the rod that will drop through these holes. So what we'll do is we'll mark the back of this plate. We'll weld these rods to the back of this, and then it'll basically drop onto the table on each half, and that'll lock it on. We're going to stand it about an inch off of this for welding so we don't melt this table, because it's just plastic. Okay, so that's sort of roughly what we're looking at. Obviously there's another plate that goes on this side, so let's grab that. That'll give me a nice spot to work on, to weld. Yeah, I'm going to have to move the clamp if I clamp to the table, but normally I clamp to the product, not to the table, just to make sure I get a good arc. So a little bit overhang here, about 1.5 inches, which makes it a little bit wider than the original table, but that's kind of what we're looking at. So as you can see, we've made an overhang here just so I can get a clamp on for welding off the table. And there's a slight overhang on this side here as well as how we've got it set up here. So we've clamped the sheet down on this side right now. So what we'll do is we'll go underneath and I'll show you how we're going to mark those. We're going to scribe probably 2 or 3 post holes that we want to hang this on. And then I'll show you how to do that. So this is the, got the camera mounted now underneath the table. So this is the overhang piece here. So we're basically just going to bring you up inside here. And you'll see all the holes underneath here that we're going to be able to mark and put the stuff through. So we're just going to pick 3, maybe 4 of these. And we're going to scribe where the hole is actually, and then what we're going to do is we're going to cut that rod and we're going to weld the rod to the back of these. I think maybe 4 holes is probably good. Maybe 1 here, 1 on the outside, and then on the other end of the table we'll mark those as well. So let's mark these ones, and then we'll flip them over and I'll show you how that looks. So I think what we'll do is we'll mark it with a Sharpie and a scribe tool, just so you don't have to do this twice. So let's go here. And here. Okay, so what we'll do now is we'll scribe these. The scribing tool, it's really sharp. And then we'll tack these in place. We can also measure off of here too, right? Okay, now that we've got that marked from the underside, we can undo this clamp. Take this clamp out. Stick it off to the side for now. Put our gloves on because this welding hasn't, when they sheared this, it hasn't been cleaned up, so it's a very sharp edge right now. So let's flip this over. And you'll see where we've scribed is the Sharpie marks, and then yeah. So it kind of shows where these posts are supposed to go. We'll double check the measurements and we'll just do 1 tack, and then we'll be able to drop it on and manipulate the rod a little bit. So basically we're going to have a post welded to the back of this in 4 locations, and they'll be, you know, a couple inches long with the washer welded to it. So let's cut those up. Make sure you get your eyes on and your ears on. You don't want to blast a bunch of stuff on the garage door. So. That's just the first cut. We'll measure up our 2 1/4. So we're just going to do the depth of the table plus a 1/2 inch gap between the table and the steel plates. Okay, so that's all 8 cut to 2 1/4. So we're gonna throw these up on the table there. And we're gonna clean up all these burrs off of them. Okay, so let's take off the zip cut wheel. We don't need the zip cut wheel on there. We want the flapper disc on here. Put the zip cut back. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put our ears back on here and our helmet. And we're just gonna zip off these burrs so that they pass through the table nicely without getting caught up. This is just, right now we're doing this so that we know where to grind off the plate. So that's the idea. So let's flip this over and line it up and mark it once more now that we've ground the where these are approximately going to sit. I ran into a bit of a snag with using the exact size steel as the holes. So the holes in the workbench are 3/4 OD, and the steel I got is 3/4 OD, just slightly under. I thought I'd be able to make it work, but I cut a piece and tried it, and the precision is, we just don't have the precision here to do something like that. So we need a little bit of play in that plate, otherwise it's almost next to impossible to get those lined up perfectly without welding them already in place, which you can't do because the tabletop is plastic. So I'm gonna go get a 3/8 thick walled pipe, which is I think it's around 5/8 OD, something like that. So that'll give us a little bit of movement there when we drop those in and out. And like I said, these steel plates are pretty heavy. They're not going to move around once they're on the table and clamped as well. So yeah, I'm going to run into town and I'll be back tomorrow, and we'll chop up some more of that pipe. Okay, welcome back. We've got some new parts here, so I'm going to show you what we're up against here now. So we've changed the game plan a little bit. Like I had said, these solid stock pieces are exactly 3/4 inch OD, so there's no room for error with this plate. So we've gone to a pipe, a 3/8 pipe, which is I believe 5/8 OD. So it's going to give us probably an 1/8 maybe spare all the way around. So I saved you guys the time and I cut up the 8 pieces of the pipe. I want to show you what we're going to do here a little bit different. We're actually going to suspend the plate, and we're going to pack these pieces up now through the hole where we want them to be, and either vice grip or put a magnet on there to hold it. And we're going to tack these in place. We're going to tack these all in place right now. If you can see that, I think you can. That's the idea. Is tack these right in place through each of the holes so that we guarantee that they're lined up, and then we'll pull it out and complete the welds, and then it should drop right back on. So let me get set up here and we'll start tacking these. So you can see we've slid this big magnet in here, and there's definitely a little bit of play now where you can move it around and set it in the center of the hole here. And then we can go ahead and tack those one at a time. Okay, so that should hold that there now. Push this up. Slide the magnet over. Something like that. Okay, so I'm gonna do the back two here now, save you a bit of time, and then we'll test fit it, and then we'll flip it over and weld her up. So on the last two that are on the back side here, I can't get the welder in there enough to do anything with it. So what I've got here is, I'll show you in a second. I've slid the magnet underneath here, pushed the piece up through the hole. We should be able to tack this one and then put it back in there and tack the next one. So, nope, the magnet moved. The magnet slid, I think. Unfortunately. Oh, maybe it didn't. Oh, I don't think it moved. Might have rolled around. But I think this piece stayed. Nice. Okay, well, we're going to try tacking it right here, and then we're going to flip it over, remove these blocks, and see if we've got a fit here. which one. I don't know. These are the front ones. That's the one back one. I'm gonna have to mark that soon, or I'm gonna be in trouble. Oh yeah. So that plate drops right down, which is exactly what we want. So we're gonna just raise it up a little bit more now. Enough to slide that magnet underneath it again. And I'll tack the last one. And then, yeah, nice. And then we'll weld the washers on. It's gonna cause more problems. Okay, well let's hope it stays there. Okay. So there's the last one we have to tack in place. And hopefully it will just slide down now then. So we'll call this A. We'll call this side B. We'll call this A. There. Now we can't mess it up. Okay. So you line up, this says A on it now, this says A on it. And this goes like this. Put 2 notches in there. Ta-da! Okay, so let's figure out the height now that we want those washers at. And, well, first I'll weld these up solid. Now we've got to slide the washers on and set the height for those. Okay, so I ground all these posts down now, so we've got a nice spot to weld to. Let's tack these in. Watson gloves, good old Canadian brand, since 1918. Woo! I feel special. Okay. Let's see if we can tack these washers in here. So, got them set up with magnets. Got this side of the washer held up with a clamp. Well, see how it goes. We will see how it goes. Yeah, that worked really well. Okay, let's build the other side off camera and then we'll show you how it works when we're done. Okay, so we got the other side all welded up. It's the same as this side here. I've cleaned the top off a little bit now. And so So you can still use these to clamp products. Nice and sturdy. We've got about an inch gap between the plastic. So we can clamp to this, we can weld on this. These are level across here. Turned out really well. Another nice thing that's a bonus feature is you can actually still fold these down. And then obviously when you're not using them as metalwork, they pop off and you can store them over in the corner where they're not going to be in the way. And then you can use this now as a woodwork bench. Hey, thanks for watching another episode of Maintenance with Mike. If you like these sort of videos, maybe consider subscribing to the channel. Maybe share them with a family member or friend. If you subscribe to the channel, you get notified as we add videos to the YouTube community. We are going to be doing an update to this welding table. We're going to be drilling holes in it, welding some nuts on the back so you can mount a benchtop grinder, benchtop grinder, and maybe a vise as well. So yeah, we appreciate you hanging out with us today, and we'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.